Yep, we're doing this again. Hello, potato. So if you watched yesterday's video, you'll remember that I opened the Miracle Noodle Variety Pack. It was our first food blind box, and we tried out the Miracle Noodle Fettuccine, which, did not taste like any fettuccine I have ever tried. Indeed, didn't really taste like much of anything on its own. And I did finally figure out what the texture of it felt like. If you've ever made that slime out of guar gum and borax, and you've made it for not quite right, and you've let it sit for a while, and the water starts to leach out of it, and it just becomes a denser and denser gel. It kind of felt like biting into a piece of that. I know it's probably not the nicest thing to say, but that is ultimately what it felt like to chew on it. Now, that said, eating it did not make me sick, did not give me any digestive issues, and was actually surprisingly filling. After eating it, you would think something with 0 calories would maybe leave you feeling hungry a short time later, and it really didn't do that. So, bonus to that. But that said, I mean, it's not something that I would confuse with actual fettuccine even if you doused it in Alfredo sauce and put hunks of chicken in it. So I did some looking into what exactly shirataki konjac is. Shirataki apparently is just what you call it when you make stuff out of konjac or konjac. Apparently both are appropriate pronunciations. And they make the food itself out of the plant's corm or bulbo tuber. So it's kind of like a potato sort of a thing. Of the bulb of the plant, not the flower. Interestingly, I thought, and by research, I went on to Wikipedia. Apparently it's also known as the devil's tongue and the voodoo lily. And the flower itself is kind of interesting looking. I'll probably steal a picture off Wikipedia and put it here. But yeah, it was food, it was edible. I don't know that I would buy one of these again, but I could probably get used to it if I figured out just the right way to make it. Maybe make it as more of a ramen, like in a broth kind of a thing. So maybe not fettuccine, maybe angel hair. Maybe we can do it with the angel hair at some point. But for today, we're going to take a look at the non-noodle thing in the packet, Miracle Rice. Now, interesting thing on this, at least interesting to me, is that despite having the exact same ingredients of purified water, konjac flour, and lime water, this has calories, and this doesn't. This has 0 calories, this had 10 calories. And there's some other differences as well. It's got more carbohydrates, I believe. Not by a lot. 1 gram in the pasta, 3 grams in the rice. It's got 1 gram more fiber, 2 grams in the fettuccine, 3 grams in the rice. And that's really about it as far as those. I think, this actually has some iron in it. It has 8%, has 1 milligram of iron, 8% of your iron in it. And 3 milligrams of potassium compared to 0 over here. So something about this is definitely different, despite having the exact same ingredients. So let's go try to cook some of this up. The instructions on it are basically the same as the rice. Drain it, boil it for 2 minutes. Drain it, rinse it 10 to 15 seconds, then boil it for 2 minutes, and then put it in a non-oiled pan on medium heat until dry. And then we'll see if we can't make something with it. This isn't going to be a cooking channel, but just plain rice on its own is kind of boring. So just do the bare minimum to try to make it into an actual meal. All right, so let's head over to the kitchen and cook this stuff up. Okay, so I have rinsed and drained drained and then rinsed our konjac rice, and you can see it's not really rice shaped. It's more like little pellets, little orbs, more than bits of rice. I mean, I guess I've seen rice that's really short like that, but yeah, this to me doesn't really look like rice. Plus, it's really jelly. It's a gel. Got our water boiling though. We're going to cook it for the 2 minutes it says to on the instructions. Then we are going to drain it and heat it up in the skillet until it is something approaching dry. Doesn't come out of the strainer as easily as our noodles did yesterday. Alright, so let's start our timer and jump ahead a couple minutes to when this is ready, or at least when the 2 minutes are up. Turn the heat down for the next step, and it is supposedly cooked now, so let's go and drain it. Alright, so we've got our skillet on there heating up. Here is our drained hot rice. Obviously you still get some water in it. I'm gonna say it does look a little bit more like rice now. I don't think it was quite this translucent before. I think it was much more see-through. Seems to have clumped up a bit, which could be good if it sticks together, because that's what I want it to do for what I'm going to try and turn it into. I saw recipes on there for like making sticky rice out of it, so I'm hoping that means it's sticky enough to do what I want with it, which is to make a very, very basic onigiri. So I'm going to put that in there and just dry it out. I've got a little bit below medium just like yesterday, because I guess the idea is to dry it, not cook it. You can hear the water sizzling out. I guess it's dry when the water stops sizzling. So I did a little more looking while this was cooking. And other food uses for this, aside from just I guess the trendy westernization of miracle noodles. Apparently it's a perfectly normal thing to eat in some cultures. The Japanese frequently use it in sukiyaki and oden. And it's also commonly found, I guess, in those jelly candy cups. If you remember back in the early 2000s, like 2001, there was a whole big thing about children choking on those lychee cups and jelly candy cups. And that's what this stuff is. This stuff is the same stuff those are made out of, the konjac plant. I'm wondering if this is going to work for onigiri. I'm just thinking it's not going to be sticky enough. Sizzling seems to have died down. Is it dry? I guess it's dry. I don't know. I think we'll probably call that dry. It doesn't give you any real idea. And I'm not sure how dry is dry. I mean, it's a thing that came in a bag of water. I have no idea what dry miracle rice should even feel like. It didn't come dry. There's not a lot of steam coming off it, so I'm going to say this is dry. Alright, so I'm going to put this in a bowl, and we will head back to the void space to try it and see if I can make anything with it. Or if I can make onigiri with it, because that's what we're going to try and make. And we are back in the void space. We're going to try and make us some onigiri. So, looking at this in a bowl, if I saw this on the table, I might believe that this was indeed rice from a distance. It does look like rice from a distance. Of course, when you look closely at it, you can see it's jelly, but it does look like rice. Now, does it taste like rice? Does it taste at least more like rice than the fettuccine did yesterday? Let's try a little bite. Nope. It tastes exactly like the fettuccine from yesterday. Which is to say that it tastes like a whole lot of nothing. And it certainly doesn't have the texture, taste, or feel of rice. But with a little seasoning, a little seaweed, maybe we can fix that. So this here is a little gadget I have never used. Picked it up, I don't know if I picked it up at Odo's or I picked it up at Daiso. Probably Daiso. But it's for making onigiri. Now, I used to make onigiri for lunch sometimes. It's real simple. It's just, rice, and you can put a filling in it if you want to. I'm not doing that today. And some seaweed and some outside seasoning or some inside seasoning. You can't get them around here very much, which is weird because they're super easy to make and super cheap to make. You'd think more places would sell them, but only place I know around here that sells them is Oto's Marketplace. And those are pretty good. They have the kind with the umeboshi in them and the kind with the furikake mixed in with it. But when I used to make them, I would just put like a piece of cling wrap in like a teacup kind of a thing, and put my stuff in, put my filling in the middle, like half a hard-boiled egg, or some tuna salad, or an umeboshi or something, and then just kind of close the plastic wrap up, shape it however I wanted, and put it in my lunch bag, and it's ready to go. I've never used this before, so this may not be the best test of it, seeing as this stuff, I don't know if this stuff's going to be sticky enough to hold the shape to be an onigiri. And if it isn't, well, we'll call it a fail, and we'll just try it with some seaweed and some seasoning. And I still have one more bag of the stuff, so maybe we'll circle back again someday before December when the sell-by date is, and try again. Okay, so I believe all I'm supposed to do is... Unfortunately, I don't think this came with instructions, at least not in English. So I don't know if the idea behind this is to keep it in here, like, and take it to lunch that way, or if you're supposed to take it back out and wrap it up. But this should theoretically... Yeah, this isn't going to work. I do not believe for a second this is going to work. This just... It feels like I'm squishing a beanbag here. Alright, so push it out. Nope, that was a failure. Oh well. And there's recipes online for making like sushi and stuff with this, which is kind of why I thought it might work as onigiri. Maybe if I let it sit in the fridge for a while, I don't know, but I don't have time for that. We are in a fast-paced world, we do not have time to wait, so let's just put some on the seaweed. Sprinkle some of the seasoning on there. And try it that way. Kinda like sushi like that, right? Right? Well, the flavor's not bad because it tastes like those two things. Yeah, that's clearly not rice. Clearly not rice. But I would say it's better than the fettuccine because it's in smaller pieces, so you're not chewing it as much. So you don't have as much of that rubbery feel in your mouth. You do, since you aren't necessarily chewing it all that much, it does feel a little bit more like real rice than the Miracle Fettuccine felt like real fettuccine. So that's a plus. I would rate this higher than the fettuccine. And maybe if I'd let it cool longer, or maybe if I add some rice wine vinegar or something. I mean, when I made onigiri in the past, it was just rice with a filling and some seaweed and some of this salt and sesame seed mixture and sugar. There's sugar in there too. And it stuck together just fine, but also it sat in a platinum cling wrap for 3 or 4 hours in a cooler bag until I ate it. So, I mean, it did have the advantage that this didn't. And, of course, there's also a possibility that I'm just not using this thing correctly. But it's a thing. I like it better than the fettuccine. I don't know what to do with it for my lunch now, but that's my lunch. So, that's Miracle Rice. It is better than Miracle Noodles, or at least better than Miracle Fettuccine. We haven't tried the angel hair, and I don't know if and when we will. Not this week. I've had enough miracles for this week. So if you'd all found this interesting, please give this video a like, and don't forget to make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and ring the little bell so you know when I post new videos. And of course you can also follow me on Instagram at Void of Intelligence to see other things that I post on there, which may or may not be related directly to this channel. And I want to thank you for your time, and thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Oh good, you're still here. So, in the interest of absolute fairness, I refilled this thing, I stuck it in the fridge. It's been about an hour since I've put it in there. I wanted to give it the absolute best chance possible of working. And I thought, normally when I made onigiri with normal rice, with sushi rice, I let it sit for a few hours in the plastic wrap before opening it. So, give it a chance to cool down as much as possible. It's still a little warm before. So let's see if letting it sit for an hour in the fridge has made any difference at all. If we can make a Miracle Rice onigiri work. And nope. Nope, we can't.